So I'm building a machine for my friend, and it has a black and white theme. We're going with a Ryzen 9 5950X and a MAG X570 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, which is a grey and black themed motherboard. We're going with dual 980 Samsung NVMe's and a Corsair 650X power supply. The chassis is going to be a Fractal Design Define 7, which is black and white. But I found a little tiny problem. We're going to be using this cooler. And this cooler has one little problem. Let me show you. It's adequate in cooling, but the top of the cooler is completely silver. And you'd think that's not that much, but I'll show you what it looks like in an actual build. Here is that particular build. Note that we had to move the CPU fan to the other side because of the height of the RGB RAM. But the top part of the CPU heatsink is really visible against everything else that's black. And it gets worse when the lights are off. Now you can pretty much only see the heatsink. Everything else kind of fades away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint only the top part of the heatsink for the other build. And that way it should look a lot better. Let's see how that goes. Before painting, we're going to need to prep the fan first. Well, not the fan really, the heatsink. So we'll just remove the fan. And then we're going to use some painter's tape to mask it off. There we go, now it's nicely masked off, and now that we've done that, we can then clean this surface with alcohol and then lay down the paint. Makeup pads work really well for this. There we go, all done. And now we just need to paint. And here we're going to do the painting. What we're going to use is we have some Vallejo surface primer. We're going to just slap that in first. And once that has cured, we're going to use black 3.0. And that should be enough for that. It was at this point that I realized that I had a massive hair right in the middle of the heatsink, so I decided to make the executive decision and remove it, and then just paint over it. Now that I was done with the primer, I just left it for a couple of hours and continued with the black 3.0. Here we have the painted and cured version. Let's take the masking tape off. Yeah, I'd say that it turned out really well. Now I just need to put this into the build. And there we go, now it's installed and it fits with the theme. And now I just need to build the rest of the machine. And here we have the completed build. As we can see, the heatsink now looks a lot nicer and fits in with the rest of the build a lot better. It seems that in the heat pipes, the paint is not sticking as well as it is sticking to the heatsink surface. Don't know why. Maybe it was bad primer coating, or it's just that the acrylic paint, which is the black 3.0, doesn't really want to stick to it. In any case, as long as you're not touching it, the heat pipes I mean, it's going to be fine. The heatsink surface itself seems to hold together nicely. I touched it a couple of times during the installation and there were no problems. And since it's just going to live inside of the machine and essentially no one's going to touch it, even if it were to scrape off, it's not much of a problem. It's an aesthetic thing anyway. Yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.